I really look forward to that. So please try to today to give Rob that fella's number, because I want to line up the interview before we get there. But that's very exciting. You also have a famous Navy SEAL captain there, correctly, and a lot of other folks. Tell people about that.
Well, we're gonna have an oath ceremony there on the green to renew. All of us who took an oath to defend the Constitution will renew our oath right there on Lexington Green on April 19th, and it's can be a very historic and very emotional experience, I'm sure. We've got active duty military flying in from all over the country, active duty police. We've got high-ranking military officers coming there. They're going to be there in their dress uniform, and then also us veterans. And we also invite just average citizens who've never taken an oath before, but they want to come and take the oath for the first time. They can raise their right hand. I did that yesterday at Knoxville. It was an exciting, it was just a wonderful experience. A crowd of about 2,000 people raised their hand and swore swore an oath to defend the Constitution. It was fantastic. And the video for that is up on our website at oath-keepers.blogspot.com. oath-keepers.blogspot.com. You folks can go there and watch that video. So we're going to do the same thing again on Lexington Green. To me, it's really the first public meeting of Oath Keepers, though, because yesterday these are folks who didn't even know who we were, and I just showed up there as a guest speaker and kind of caught them off guard, but got them all to stand up and raise their right hand and reaffirm their oath or take the oath for the first time.
And so this is gonna spread like wildfire, because we've got the state police training manuals that the feds put out. And then we even have the footage of squad car video in my film Road to Tyranny. At a warrantless checkpoint, they find a pocket Constitution in the woman's car and flip out and arrest her for it. And it's them on video going, I can't believe she's got one of these. She's one of them deadly ones.
I saw that. I remember seeing that. And that's why we got to stand up. And that's why it has to be done, I think. The tip of the spear, just as it is in warfare, needs to be the hardcore troops, the guys who've been there, and the police to stand up and say, you know what, we are constitutionalists. You want to paint them as constitutionalists and separate us from them? Well, guess what? We are constitutionalists, which is exactly why you saw that Department of Homeland Security, the latest report, they call it a report, it's just propaganda, labeling returning veterans as a potential terrorist threat. It's just amazing.
Well, that's what it is.
Frankly, they're screwing up.
It is, well, in fact, comment on that. It is a secret police commissariat political police report like the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany or Maoist China. I mean, out of the textbook, it says the #1 threat is returning troops, gun owners, people buying all these guns and ammo. This is the #1 terror threat. That is a quote, and they have really upset people. And can't the police put two and two together? Most of the police are former military. They're saying you're the threat. And what's the first thing Hitler wiped out when he got power? When he was going to betray everybody and do the opposite of what he said. He killed the police and military in the Night of the Long Knives. So explain to folks how big a deal this is, and I agree, they screwed up by doing this. Break it down.
Absolutely. I mean, what they're trying to do is a purge and chill your speech. They want returning veterans to be concerned and worried that they're going to be labeled a terrorist. Apparently they see anybody who took an oath to defend the Constitution. I'm starting to think this. They must think that we are a threat because they know we mean it, and they know we're going to keep our oath. And so this is their preemptive way of starting to label returning veterans as crazy and kooky and potential terrorist threats and all McVeighs, that kind of thing. When maybe to get them to chill their speech and not become politically active or not become active in organizations like Oath Keepers. So, but the way to fight that is just with light. Shine a light on it like you've been doing. You shine a light on the cockroaches, they scurry away. Shine a light. But you know what? I think the Obama administration has made some disastrous mistakes. I mean, talking about having veterans pay for their own medical care, just ticked off every veteran, every current serving military there is, and then now this. And the American Legion's ticked off about this also. They've sent another letter to Napolitano, the bad Napolitano, not the good one. They sent a letter to her making it very clear that she should know better. This is ridiculous,
And by the way, she has now come out and says that she doesn't apologize for these reports.
That's right. She says I have to look at every possible threat. So, once again, if you're a constitutionalist, you're a possible threat. And you know what? We are. Quite frankly, we're not a threat to the American people. We're not terrorists, but we are a threat to their attempt to destroy our republic. By God, we better be. Everyone is sworn up to defend the Constitution. Of course, we're not going to just stand by and let that happen. So, but they're coming right out.
No, exactly. We have the Bill of Rights, Constitution, Declaration of Independence, common law, common sense, organic law on our side. You have these foreign bankers usurping our country through the executive, both parties stealing $12.8 trillion in 6 months, the GDP in half a year. They're totally taking over. They're violating our rights and liberties at every level. They're butchering, every basic canon of a free society. We are in the right under the Declaration of Independence to arrest all these people through the grand juries, through indictments. So they've got to declare us the enemy and us the terrorist, because they are the ones terrorizing our liberty. They are the criminals. They are the ones that must be brought to justice. It's so simple. They have to indict us, accuse us, demonize us, because what they're doing is so outrageous and criminal. They know if the people ever get control of this country again, they're all going to prison. And so this is a very bold action. I keep telling people the elite are going for broke. The level of crimes and looting and corruption they have engaged means they are going all the way to the wall, folks. This is not a drill or not an exercise. They plan a hot revolution in this country of power and tyranny. They are the revolutionaries. We are the restorationists. We just want our Bill of Rights and Constitution and liberty, not their old-time religion of tyranny. They claim they're doing a new world order. Everything with them is a lie. It's the old world order, the Roman tyranny. Go ahead.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, they're the assaulters on the Constitution and the American Republic, and we're the defenders. And so they have to make the people think the exact opposite, that we're the threat to them when we're their protectors. And so that's why it's absolutely imperative that officers stand up, police officers, that military stand up, and they do it in large enough numbers that you can't just dismiss them as lone crazies or whatever. You have to acknowledge this is mainstream.
And by the way, it takes a lot of courage. Don't you have some generals and people coming? I mean, to have regular, in the military officers coming and swearing their oath. That's how close to midnight it is.
One lieutenant commander put it, this is one lieutenant commander of the Navy, he said, look, I have nothing to fear because all I'm doing is reaffirming my obligation to follow the law. I'm not going there I'm not going to wage war on the American people.
But that shows how close to midnight it is that it is radical to have people stand up and say, I won't put Americans in camps.
Yeah, you talk like, you quote Jefferson and John Adams and Sam Adams, and they consider you a threat. And we are a threat to their plans. That's absolutely correct, because we're not going to let them do it. So I guess in some ways, their report is accurate, but not the way they spin it. They spin it as though we're going to go blow up, kill babies and blow up people, and they were racist. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst part. Well, they're upset. The people that were buying guns are upset because he's black. No, we're upset because as a state senator, he called for complete gun bans. His attorney general in the briefing last year before the Supreme Court said citizens should not be able to own a single shot. I mean, he wants total gun ban, and they've introduced the bills, and you've now got the governor of Pennsylvania calling for gun bans. And so, again, we're in reality. But for those that don't understand this, we are at a historic crossroads, and I can see it in their eyes and their actions. I realize they're actually intimidated. They realize that they've put their criminal action into motion. It's a machine they can't turn off, and I think they're starting to brace for the fact. I mean, it's like when you get in a fight. Some bully punches you, and then you gear up and start punching back, and you can tell you're going to whoop their ass. I mean, that's the feeling right here. We are going to kick the New World Order's butt.
Yeah, and they realized they thought you were going to be an easy victim, and the next thing you know, you slam them on the ground, and you're mounted on top of them, and you're going to punch them in the face. Well, let me tell you, Alex, one thing I wanted to say is that we're going to have retired Navy SEAL Captain Larry Bailey administer the oath, unless Judge Napolitano wants to come administer the oath. Sometimes it's hard to reach people, but we give an open invitation to him. If he shows up, all he's got to do is show up, and he can administer the oath, because I can't think of a more consistent judge. He's like
listen, I promised to cover this new angle on these federal reports demonizing Christians, gun owners, the troops, ammo owners. So if you'll do this, Stuart, I'll put you on hold. When Napolitano comes on at the start of the next hour, I'll introduce him for about 5 minutes, and then you can come on and invite him, because I know he's in New York. I don't know if he can come. But you can invite him on air and put him on the spot if you'd like, or do you want me to ask him and then offer to give him your number?
Either way, we just want to. I mean, everyone's welcome, and it would be wonderful to have a judge like that. It'd make the experience all the more special. Because here's the thing: this has been done before. This is not the first time. There's historic precedents. In 1798, a militia company stood on the green and renewed their oath and sent a letter to John Adams, who was president at the time, and he wrote back in response to them and said, by renewing your oath on that sacred spot, you have reaffirmed your devotion to your country. It was just brilliant. So we're going to use that quote when we stand on the green. It's been done before. We're following.
Yeah, but you're talking about founding fathers. That's Al-Qaeda. I mean, this is really radical stuff here, folks.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt, you need to hear this. Have you been watching the banks getting their bailout money and wondering where your relief is? The answer you're looking for is the Bailout Group. The Bailout Group has settled over $100 million in credit card debt for people just like you. The Bailout Group can help cut your debt by